Tonight I have pulled out my old Game Boy Advanced case and all the games inside that I have kept from when I was a little kid. I thought it would be fun, like I've done with so many other games, to share them with you and to geek out a bit tonight. I don't know if you can hear in the background, it's raining quite hard tonight, so I'm all cozied up inside. I hope you are too, and let's have some fun, shall we? So first, I actually have here, I don't know what happened to the back of it, but I have my Game Boy Advance. Some great ASMR sounds right off the bat. I don't know what happened to my Game Boy Color. I don't think I pulled that out from my last Game Boy video, but I still have my Game Boy Advance. That I love very much. Love the see-through, vibrant colored gadgets from the early 2000s so much. And I'm so glad that I still have this. Now is for the good part where we get into the actual games. First off, we are starting off so strong. What I would consider the best Game Boy Advance game ever. Like, everything else is going to pale in comparison to this. This is all you need to know when it comes to Game Boy Advance. Alright? That is Golden Sun. I love this game. I absolutely adore it. It's basically just like a fantasy turn-based RPG that was fabulous. Honestly, I don't even remember the story, but I remember having so much fun playing this game. And something else I still have too is this little map slash guide thing that came with it, which I thought we could take a look at too. Yeah, a map of the land you traverse. And of course you just start off as in some little village and work your way around the world. These are the main characters. I really loved the character designs and art style. Of course, that is what drew me and still draws me to a lot of video games these days. But you've got like the different elements represented, like each character specializes in a different element. Got Isaac, who is Earth. Garrett, right there, who's Fire. Mia, Water, and Ivan, who's Wind. Or at least those are like the colors that they align with. And it's so funny, I like remember those names so clearly. In each of them also you've got like all kinds of stuff here, like their little stats, like ways you can upgrade them, and then there are also these cute little guys, these not Jin, but Genie, I guess, spelled sort of like Jin. And they were super cute. I always really liked the water one and the wind one the best. But yeah, this has like just like a bunch of different like effects and like I said, stats. You've got it says here synergy available outside of battle. Different summons, which I do remember using in the game. All that fun stuff. But I'm very glad that I still have this map. It's a lot of fun. And down here it has like the names of a bunch of places and then some that you're supposed to fill in yourself when you get to those later parts of the game. And honestly, this is like the kind of thing, like it makes me want to boot up my my Game Boy Advance again and play it again. because I love it. I actually don't think I ever finished the game, but I had a blast playing it, and I would love to go back and actually finish it. And since it's Game Boy Advance, it's something that I could just like take on the go, you know, and play like when I have downtime or something. But yes, Golden Sun. Yes, if you love fantasy RPG games, you should play it. So wonderful. I've never played the second one. I don't know if the second one's any good. I remember, I think, seeing it, like an ad for it, or some pages dedicated to the second one in Nintendo Power before I stopped getting Nintendo Power as a kid. But I highly recommend this. Oh my gosh. Love it. Love it. I'm actually surprised that I don't hear more about this game still. Because it was so wonderful. But we don't want to get too fangirly on any single game, because that doesn't happen. So we'll go to the next one. The next one is another great game I mentioned recently in my PlayStation games video, and I actually did fangirl a lot about this. I am a huge fan of the Spyro games. Spyro the Dragon trademark, as I found out in that while filming that video. Those games. This is Spyro Season of Ice. If you can see. I don't think. There we go. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I don't think I finished any of my Game Boy Advance games. I know I didn't finish this one. There was a level I got stuck on. Like there was one thing I needed to do, and I like couldn't find it. So I never finished this. I did enjoy it, not as much as the PlayStation games, but it was fun for a Game Boy Advance game. I remember specifically there being like a beehive level where there was like honeycomb everywhere and like bees as some of the villains and stuff. That's the main thing I remember from it. I feel like that might have been a level that I had trouble with or something. But just a great Spyro game. I mentioned this in my PlayStation game too. I don't know why, or what happened, with, trying to revamp this series, because the Spyro games, the original ones, I even like the GameCube one, and I don't think the GameCube one, a lot of people like that, but it was just so much fun and so cute. Who doesn't love cute dragons, But I don't know, it says Season of Ice. I wonder if it was just about melting all the ice, or if you got some ice breathing powers in that. I can't remember. I can't remember a lot about a lot of my Game Boy Advance games, so I feel like I'm gonna be saying I can't remember a lot. Sorry, I probably can't get quite as detailed as I have on some of my other video game videos, but at least we can, just look at the cartridges and, say, oh, that was a fun game. That's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. Moving on. Another classic game is the Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past 4 Swords. So this was basically just like A Link to the Past, the Super Nintendo Zelda game, which, who does not adore that game? I think that you can actually play it on an iPhone now. I don't know if it's official, but I know that someone, whether official or not, by Nintendo, I probably shouldn't say that because Nintendo will probably take it down if it's not official, but there is a way to play it on your iPhone, if you so choose. But it's that Super Nintendo game, and then Four Swords is another game. I don't know if there's a way to play it just solo, but it was intended to be a multiplayer game. I don't think I have any in this case, but you had to use the connector cables to connect up the Game Boys to each other, and I'm pretty sure that's how you played it. And you could play it with up to 4 people, 4 swords, and it was more just going through different dungeons to collect rupees. I think whoever had the most rupees at the end or something won, but much more simplified compared to the much greater, grander, typical Zelda games or something like A Link to the Past. But good old classic, who does not love Legend of Zelda? Another one that makes me just want to pop in a couple new AA batteries into my Game Boy Advance and play this. Just for the nostalgia's sake, if nothing else. Let's see. Here we go. Another classic. So many classics here. And I feel like Game Boy Advance, I'm not sure. I know they did this, or I'm pretty sure they might have done this some for just Game Boy Color, but there was a lot of like, you know, not reboots, but like taking games for Super Nintendo or just older consoles and making them for Game Boy Advance. And I'm pretty sure this is one of those, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, which is essentially Kirby's Adventure, I think. The second one, the second Kirby game, I believe this is a remake of, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not the best person to ask about like video game history or those kinds of details. And I'll also be perfectly honest, a lot of the older 2D Kirby games like this just blur together for me. It's like I can't remember which one's which. I have very, very fond, distinct memories of playing, and I don't even remember the names of them or whatever, but there are two Kirby games for Super Nintendo that I remember playing at my mama's house, because my mama's house is where my mom made me keep my Super Nintendo. And I didn't own these games, I always had to rent them from the video rental store at the grocery store. And because that was the only like a video rental store nearby that had them. But I would rent these two Kirby games and play them when I had to go stay at my mama's house. And I would play them while chewing Bubblicious bubble gum, either like the sour lemonade or the sour blueberry flavors. And those are like, when I think of Kirby, that's typically what I think of. When I think of playing Kirby video games, at least. So, and again, it just all blurs together, including this. Yeah, you could probably show me clips of those games and clips of this, and I would not know which one is which. Sorry. Maybe that makes me a bad, like, Kirby fan, even though I am a huge Kirby fan. But, I guess I'm just getting old at this point. But yeah, love Kirby. Always love Kirby. I really do need to play some of the newer games, because I haven't. The last one I played was like the Kirby 64, whatever hell that one's called. So yeah, some people probably consider me a very bad Kirby fan, but I own so much Kirby merch, and I've also been getting very much into Kirby lore lately. Alright, next one. This one some people might think is stupid, and I touched on this in my PlayStation 2 video. Most games like this, I think, are, you know, just sort of like cash grab games to like profit off of what, not in this case necessarily, but what should be just like a popular IP sort of thing. Not in this case, like I said, because unfortunately, Disney kind of like sabotaged Treasure Planet, despite it being a fabulous movie. But it is the Treasure Planet Game Boy Advance game. And I mentioned this, I think, in my PlayStation 2 video as well. I absolutely adored and still adore Treasure Planet. I saw it multiple times in the movie theater, and I just wanted, like, if I could find anything Treasure Planet, I wanted it. So for like my birthday or Christmas or whatever that year, I got both the Treasure Planet PlayStation 2 game and the Treasure Planet Game Boy Advance game, and they were actually not that bad. They weren't amazing. There were no Golden Sun or whatever, but for, you know, like the kind of games that are just made off of like the latest kids movie or something that's come out, it was, or they weren't terrible. I don't remember as much about this one as is the trend for Game Boy Advance games. I don't remember as much about this one as I remember about the PlayStation 2 game, which I actually really did enjoy. I'm sure this was fine. It's one of those things too, it's just like, it's also just nice to have, just like that. It has Treasure Planet on it, you know, one of those things. Because it's an absolute tragedy what was done to that film when it came out. I am so happy I can still honor it in any way that I can to this day. Next. Oh, this is great. Mega Man. I really enjoy Mega Man stuff, but that's like also something I feel like overall it's like this is something else I mentioned before. I don't remember which video, but it's like I really enjoy playing Mega Man games, but I feel like I don't know anything about Mega Man, like what is actually going on. I just like running around and shooting things, using the little like blasters or whatever. Like I don't know anything about like Mega Man lore or whatever, but I've had a lot of fun playing the, honestly not that many Mega Man games I've played, but the ones I've played I've really enjoyed. And everything, and this is one of them. Sorry, I can't say much else about it. Mega Man games are typically fun. Yeah. And honestly, we're going to get into a lot of me not knowing anything about these next several games. And then we will close the video out with a like grand finale with another, I don't know, a game I have mixed feelings on, but I think is really, really good to talk about and share with y'all. So, alright, like I said, these next ones, like, I don't know, if you know anything about it, please feel free to share in the comments, because I don't remember, like, a single thing about these. Well, no, this one I know some. Alright, this one I know a little bit about. Or I remember a little bit about. We have a Dragon Ball Z game. It was basically just like 2D action, like, I don't know, probably like shooting some Kamehamehas or whatever at enemies. Don't remember too much. Like I said, you play as Dragon Ball Z character. I know it does follow the plot of some of the anime, I believe. Oh, and the full name is Dragon Ball Z, The Legacy of Goku. Yeah, so honestly can't say, I don't remember. I guess I didn't play it that much, so I don't really know how great it was. But yeah, got that. And then this one, like I said, I don't really remember much about the game, but I remember I really loved seeing the Nintendo Power. The characters and the character design I thought was really cool. So that's like what made me get it, but I don't remember a single thing about this. I don't remember how much I played it or whatever, but I remember really loving the characters and like even like wanting to draw the characters myself and everything, so that at least was good. But here we have Breath of Fire 2, which every time I think of this, I always want to call it Fire Emblem. They're probably like nothing alike, but like if I like accidentally call it that at some point in this video, you know what I'm talking about. Breath of Fire 2. I remember the main guy. Again, I thought looked cool. I have no idea who they were, but there were these girls who had on kind of skimpy outfits who were like different colors. There was like a green one and a blue one, and I think a red one or something. And that's a really shitty way. That's as much as I know how to describe them. But they looked cool and cute, and again, I wanted to draw them. And that's about all I can say about this. I think it was probably like an RPG too. Yeah. Please share if you have any details on the game. Alright, now these are the ones that I truly know nothing about. I think one of them, there was a lot of reading, and I I love that kind of game, like where I'm like going through and reading a lot of dialogue and stuff these days. I play a lot of games like that. I was not into that as a kid when I got this game, so I think I like just stopped playing it because I was like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for all of this. I have no idea what's going on. I don't really care about the. I remember not enjoying the gameplay actually, but that doesn't mean it's not a good game. So yeah, this one is this. What is it? I don't even know the name. Sorry, I can't see because of the light. Zone of the Enders, the Fist of Mars. God, that doesn't even sound like something I would be into. I'm not a sci-fi gal at all. I think there might have been like a mecha type thing or something. Yeah. But that's as much as I know. Probably takes place in space. Yeah. Here we have Lunar Legend. I know that this had anime looking art on the box, which is probably why I got it. And that's all I know. Again, I'm definitely someone, obviously, or at least I was when I was a child, who very much like to judge things by its cover. Didn't always work out for me. But I don't even have any memory of actually playing this one. I'm sure I did, but it did not leave an impression on me at all. But yeah, good cover art, I guess, on the box at least. Yet another one. No memory of actually playing this game. This is Phantasy Star Collection, and it's like a mixture, or not a mixture, but as it says, a collection of multiple games. Phantasy Star, which is like something that, it's like a name I recognize, but I have no idea what it is. And yeah, silence is all I have to offer there, because I don't know anything about it. I believe it also had like an anime-esque art style on the box cover, or something like that. Alright, sorry. And please note, I don't mean to just like throw away those games, like, or disrespect them or anything. I just don't know what to say. You know, I don't know what to do besides tap on them for some little ASMR effects, so please note this is not me, because Lord knows there's probably someone who's going to get offended. This is not me saying they're bad or just forgettable. They were just like, I guess, not my vibe whenever I was a child. But this one was. This last one, the grand finale of our lovely video tonight. We have, what is the name of this? The official name. Ah, that's right. The Kingdom Hearts Game Boy Advance game, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I believe, if I remember correctly, which who knows at this point, I believe this is when the story really started to get out there. I think this was the first spin-off, like, Kingdom Hearts game. The one that isn't, like, in the, you know, 1, 2, 3 main games. It's the only spin-off game I played because, Jesus Christ, I don't have it in me to, like, get into all the crazy stuff that happens with the lore, and I heard that some of the games aren't even that great. So I will save myself the time and just stick to the main games, and I don't know, if I boot up my Game Boy Advance, maybe I'll play this one again. But I do remember being kind of annoyed, because the thing is, it wasn't just like regular fighting. You had these cards you had to use, and you had a limited amount of cards. Like, you had to use these cards with different characters and stuff on them in battle, and you could run out of them. And I think if you ran out of them, you were just like screwed. I hate stuff like that so much. But that part really annoyed me, and that's the main thing I remember. Yeah, but something fun about this is that I actually still have the box. Which is really cool. And I'm sure I saved it because it does just look really neat with the artwork on there. Look at the back. And something, and again, this is my, chain of memories, how appropriate that it's about memories. Something that, oh, actually, that might have been what happened. Does Sora lose his memory or something in this game? I think something like that might happen. But anyway, as someone who's also struggling with their memories right now, I can't remember completely, so I'm a little confused, but the pictures on here are showing some, like, lands that you would have already gone to. Like in the first game, like it looks like there's another Ursula battle. It looks like you go to Agrabah. I'm like piecing this together like in real time. Maybe it's because he had like lost his memories, so that's why you go back to some of these places to get those memories. I'm like completely making that up, but that makes sense in my mind as something that would happen in the game, as why you would go back to those places. That's funny. So I have little booklets too. This is a Game Boy precautions booklet. I don't remember anything like that. Who knows what kind of warnings they were required to provide. Here we have the game booklet. Maybe we'll learn about the plot in here. The back too is cute. Also, I'm really sorry if I've been like annoying during this video. I feel like I have been. I apologize if that's the case. Alright, so the story. Gosh, the lighting is not good in here right now. Let me try and get kind of up close and personal as I try and read this. Sora, Donald, and Goofy travel down a long road that meanders through endless fields and come to a crossroads. As Sora stands in the crossroads, he gazes up at the night sky and thinks of his lost friends. Just then, a mysterious man approaches from down one of the branching paths. Ahead lies something you need, he says, but to claim it, you must lose something dear. When the man vanishes, only a single path remains. The path leads to a mysterious fortress called Castle Oblivion. In the coming journey, what will Sora and his companions gain, and what will they lose? That doesn't really help me identify the memory stuff. So this is Game Boy Advance, but it's showing this one. I don't remember what that version of the Game Boy was called. So I guess it worked on that too. Got some nice character bios. Sora, Donald, and Goofy, and Riku and Kairi, and then the unknown guy we mentioned before. I don't know if I mentioned in my PlayStation 2 video, but I had a huge crush on Riku as a kid. You know, you gotta love the bad boy type. I had a huge crush on him. Okay. So this is about the cards that I was talking about. It says Castle Oblivion, where cards govern all. In this game, cards are necessary in a variety of situations. There are two general classes of cards: map cards, which are used to move about the field, and battle cards, which are used in combat. Map cards. In order to advance the story, map cards must be used to reach rooms where story events occur. Once all the events on a floor have occurred, the next floor becomes accessible. Battle cards. There are many different types of battle cards. They can be used to summon allies, cast magic, or perform slates. Choose your cards wisely and you can take on any situation. I kind of do feel like I would like to try it again now that I'm older and maybe a better game player. God, I must have been dumb as a kid or something. But, you know, like, see if I find it just as annoying using the cards or easier or whatever. All this stupid stuff about using the cards in battle. Oh, there's a helpful tips page with a tip for building efficient decks. Maybe I should have read that because I probably just threw everything together. I'm like, just put as many cards in that deck as I've got. And was like, we'll just go with that. And it probably was not the smartest tactic for playing the game. Oh, nice. And of course, we cannot have one of these little pamphlet things without having an ad for the game guide. How much was this one? Does it say? $14.99 in the US and $21.99 in Canada. I still think it's so funny that it's like we used to pay for that. Oh, this is great right here. This is great. You know, talking about like those games that would be made just to like profit off an IP. Well, that's cute too. It's something about like a sweepstakes. But look at these games here. So you've got something like, as you know, much as I feel like I was kind of bitching about this game, at least compared to the other Kingdom Hearts games, this is a great game. This is like, I feel like this is, I don't know, maybe from what I remember and from my experience, this is like on the higher tier of Game Boy Advance games. Maybe, correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a good game. And then you got that next to all this other stuff, which, granted, I never played these other games, but I gotta say, they look like they would be total crap, and that's coming from someone who was in love with the Angelica Rugrats Game Boy Color game, okay? Like, these do look like they would be, like, kind of crappy. Like, That's So Raven, Lizzie McGuire, and Stitch. And I love Lizzie McGuire so much. But, I don't know, that, a Game Boy Advance game, I feel like it would have sucked. Again, please, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, that's fun. I had no idea this was a thing. Is this a game? I assume this is another Game Boy Advance game? Did they create a Tron game for Game Boy Advance? That's cool, if they did. They created it. Oh yeah, available now on Game Boy Advance. I wonder if that was any good. Yeah, it's a Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I did have fun looking back through these. It's always nice to wax nostalgia, especially on video game type stuff. Still have some more games that I plan on sharing with you guys. I have gotten like a lot of requests, like over the past year and everything, to do more video game videos. So some of my games I'm still trying to find. I know I have them somewhere, I just don't know where. But there will be at least a couple more video game show and tells that I have for you all. And I promise they'll be a lot more knowledgeable and everything than this one. But even so, I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. And thank you for joining me. I hope you have a lovely, lovely night.